Hello, hello. It is 12 noon Eastern Time, Atlanta, and that will be 9 o'clock Pacific Time. Welcome to The Good with Dr. Joe. I have with me today my very good friend.
Pat.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Pat.
Not much to tell. I'm just a retired real estate agent, and now I assist Joe in any way I can. I work 2 days a week with him in Brookwood Eye Care.
Yes, thank you so much for that wonderful intro. Yeah, I am a board certified optician. I have a practice here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I just love helping small businesses. I myself, I'm a small business owner, and there's a few things I know I can do for other small business owner, especially in these very difficult times of COVID-19. As you know, the situation is kind of getting a little bit difficult now. The um, infection rate is going really, really high, and I want to be sure that everybody is okay, at least if not for anything financially. So we're going to be talking about different issues. Now, if I can just talk about the podcast for a little bit, one of the reasons why I started the podcast was that immediately after COVID-19 hit, all you could hear was bad news. It was bad news all over the place. And you know about Fox, you know about CNN, ABC, it was like everything was going down. And eventually I found out that a lot of people were really, really affected, mentally, they were affected by what was going on with COVID-19. So this podcast, though, what we try to do is to find the good in everything that happens. And this is what I found out that no matter how bad
Right.
something is,
Yeah, no matter how bad anything is,
yes,
you can always find something good.
that's it.
And we have to keep that foremost in our minds
Yeah.
in these times.
And our job on this podcast is to help you find that good
That's
in
right.
whatever situation you're in.
That's right.
Now, what's going to make our podcast a little different is that we're going to be live. We're live. You see, I have my computer here, and we are going to be taking questions, live questions. We're going to be talking to people, asking how they're doing, see how we can help. I see a couple of people online. Thank you so much for joining, Fred. I see you. Mark, I see you. Daisy, I see you. Thank you for coming. So, what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about the PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, one version is ending in about a week and a half, August 8th. How many days? How many days we have?
About a week.
About a week.
About a week and a half, maybe.
A week and a half, maybe
Mm-hmm.
the Paycheck Protection Plan program might be gone.
Right.
Now, right now in the Congress, in the Congress is working on a new package, HEALS. I think that's what it's called, HEALS. They're working on a new package, and they may bring back another version of the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, the other thing I'm also going to be talking about today is the EIDL. EIDL. Now, a lot
Idle?
of people.
What's idle?
EIDL. Thank you for that great question. Yeah, it's actually EIDL.
EIDL. I never heard of that. Go ahead.
Yes, it's actually
enlighten me, please.
yeah. Actually, that actually stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
Oh, okay. Never heard of that.
Yes, and that is being administered by the SBA. Now you heard about SBA, right?
Yeah.
That's a Small Business Administration, and
Right.
they actually help small businesses in the U.S. to succeed. So therefore, they have a few stimulus package, a relief package for small businesses, small business owners, and their employees that they can tap into and they can grab that to at least sustain them during this period of the pandemic. So I have received a few inquiries, a few tests, people asking questions, people looking for help. Now, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be looking at my tests. If I see any tests that come in that I need to respond to, I will look into it. If I have the answers, I will give it to you. If I don't have the answers, I will just go online right here. Call somebody at SBA, call somebody at um, wherever. We can find people. If we don't get the answer today, we'll look for the answer and give it back to you. Now, one of the reasons why I decided to come do this podcast is because I have the willingness to help. God has given me that grace to help people. And I have some information too that may be valuable to some people also. But then I also have my work. And just like Ms. No said, we have a real estate business that we're working on. We have a eye doctor's office to run. So we have families to run. So it is kind of, impractical. What was the other word for impractical?
Difficult.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for me to just be taking call left, right, and
Right.
center every time. So what I do is I kind of compile all the questions, and try to deal with them
Right.
on Wednesday. So this podcast is going to happen live every Wednesday from 12 noon until about 12:30. So we try to answer questions, try to deal with issues, and so on and so forth like that. And also, we will post every time we do our podcast. We're going to post a copy of the recording on our Facebook page and our YouTube page, so that people can go in and kind of look and see, what they can do. All right, now if you're live and you have questions, you can just go ahead and click on request, and they will let me know that you're there. You can ask your questions. We can try to actually answer the question while you are on the air, while we're alive. Okay, so one of the things I found out recently is that there are people. I was actually shocked to find out, just like I found out from you now. You say you didn't know about the EIDL. I'm actually really shocked that there are people, even though this has been going on since when now? I think it was March that it was first approved. Congress, signed into law, that there are people who own businesses who are suffering and don't know about these stimulus packages, didn't know about the CARES Act, and didn't know about the PPP and all these different programs, and yet they are suffering, and yet they are dying.
Well, Joe, do they have to then get forms to fill out to apply for the assistance?
Actually, every of these program you can apply for online.
Okay, so you fill out a form online.
Yes.
And send that in.
Yes.
To request assistance.
Yes.
Well, that's what people need to know.
Yeah.
How would they find that form online?
Okay, now, depending on which program that you're looking for, first of all, you got to know what you qualify for. So that's the first thing. So
how many programs are there?
Right now you have two major okay. ones. The EIDL, which stands for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
Okay.
And people, you cannot be afraid because it's called loan. And a lot of people feel.
Can you apply for both?
You can.
At the same time, so
Yes.
if one doesn't work for you, the other one might.
Yes, you can apply for both. You can actually get both because both they're slightly different. They're
That's
not
good.
exactly the same thing. They're slightly
That's
different.
good. Then that way to go. If I were doing this, I'd apply for both of them.
Yes.
Today.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I recommend.
Yeah.
That's what I recommend. If you're just hearing about this first time today, you have not heard about it before, then what you want to do is that you want to start working on it. Now, let's start with the EIDL. What do you need to qualify for the EIDL? Number one, you have a business. And it doesn't matter whether your business is registered, whether you have LLC or you have Inc. or you are SCORP or a C Corp, it doesn't really matter. If you are registered, then you probably register under an LLC or Inc. Now, if you are not registered, then you be a small business.
Well, you'd have to have a small business license.
Well, there are some businesses that require licenses. There are some that don't.
Oh, okay.
But for this loan, though, this loan doesn't require that.
Okay.
The EIDL, what the EIDL requires is that, number one, you have a business, and your business was existing before February 15th, 2020.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have that. You have a business name, whether it's registered. If you're registered, fine. If you're not registered, you're just a sole proprietor.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're not registered, you're a sole proprietor. So you need that. And then number two, you need an EIN number. So EIN number is employer identification number or tax ID number which is TIN. So if you don't have that, then your social security number will now take the place of that. So you can use your social security number if you don't have a tax ID number or you don't have an EI number. And then number 3 thing that you need is a bank account. So you need an active bank account. So with these 3, you can apply for the EIDL.
A bank account in the business name?
Yes.
Would
Yes.
it have to be in the business name, not your private name?
Preferably in the business name.
Okay.
But if you are a sole proprietor, then a bank in your name will suffice.
Oh, so then you can use your personal name.
Yes.
And that will qualify.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think I got a text about a question. I'm going when I start looking at questions, I'm going to be addressing some specific questions. Somebody sent a text to me that she was in a situation whereby the name was not matching. Now, you have to think about the person on the other side of this loan. All they're looking for is to make sure that you are legit.
Well, sure. Yeah.
All they want to make sure is that whatever you're filing is the truth.
Right.
So at least they're going to do some very minimum basic check. Like they will have to check your credit report. You see, that's one way to establish that you as a person, you exist. And then also they do some minimum check on your business to see that your business also exists. It could be maybe a Google or maybe your website or whatever, just to check that the business, that you didn't just put something.
So there's got
out
to
of
be
there.
some kind of verification.
Yes. There got to be some kind of verification, to see to see that you're there. So once you submit that, and please, when you're applying for this EIDL, on the 3rd page of the application, and it's online application, by the way, you can go to the SBA, Small Business Administration, and just click on a link for the EIDL application. It's very simple. It's all over the place, so you can see it online. So click on that and then apply. On the 3rd page, don't forget to click on the advance. Now,
what?
Advance. What the SBA is doing is that sometimes.
Are you saying advance?
Yeah, cash advance.
Oh, cash advance. Okay.
So you get a cash advance. Why they are processing the loan, why they are checking the.
Okay, so they will prepay, maybe like.
Yeah, they give you a cash advance.
Okay.
Up to $10,000.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, up to $10,000. And now, even though the original plan was that every business gets $10,000, the SBA has decided to do it $1,000 per employees because they felt that the money wasn't enough, even though the what do you call it? The state what do you call it? The guys who make the laws. What's their name? Congress.
Congress, yeah.
Even though the Congress says that they should get $10,000 to each businesses, right now the SBA is saying that they are trying to conserve the money. Conserve, is that the right word?
Conserve the money.
Trying to conserve the money, and that is not right. Somebody ask you questions. Now, if you're there and you want to ask a question, just press request, and then they will let me know that you're trying to ask a question, and then we'll get you in.
Well, now, Joe, before we run out of time, what is the other type of loan? You said there was 2.
Yeah.
Let's see what the other one is.
Yeah, the other one is PPP. But if I can just finish, do I have a minute to just run this up? So once you submit the application for that, you check the 10,000 box. So you're supposed to get money in your account within 3 days of applying.
Boy, that's good.
Yeah, so you get that money in your account, and then they run your credit check. Once they run your credit check, then they will now send you some information, paperwork to review. And then if you are offered a loan, they will send you the terms of the loan and give you some information to look at, and you can go ahead and sign that. Now, if you don't get a loan, and I think this was part of what we highlighted in this podcast, if you don't get the loan, they will send you a reason, official reason, that email or letter stating why your loan is being denied. And you have every right to appeal. Once you know what the deficiency is in your application, once you know what the issue is in the application, you can try to correct that and then reapply or try to get in touch with you.
So really now on these papers they send to you, if you take the time to read them,
Yes.
and you should read everything that you get.
Yes.
It gives you all the explanations you need to know, and if you can reapply, those papers will inform you of what you need to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, we covered that.
Yes. So the paper will tell you what to do. All right. So let me talk about PPP for a brief moment, and after that we can start now looking at the questions. So now the PPP stands for Paycheck Protection Program. Now you remember when we had the lockdown. It was in early April.
Right.
Yeah, we had a lockdown. Mm-hmm. So all the employees were sent home.
Right.
All right. So now the business owner is not getting any money in. So no money is coming in.
Right.
So if you're not getting any money in, how do you pay?
There's no money going out.
Yeah. There's no money going out. You can't pay your employees.
Right. Right.
So Congress came up with this package of the PPP, and the PPP is actually, even though it's run by SBA, but SBA empowered private companies and banks to actually run it. So to get your PPP, you have to go through one of the banks or one of the private lending companies.
And again, paperwork to be filled out.
Yeah, yes.
Always paperwork.
Yeah, not a whole lot of paperwork, so especially for the fact that you can do it online.
Right.
I like the fact that you can do it online, so that even reduces the idea of filling paper and
then they have to, you would have to prove that you have these employees working for you. Of course, you would have records where you have paid in the taxes.
Yes.
The withholdings. Yes.
There are two ways you can apply for the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. You can apply as a business that pays employees, or you can apply as an independent contractor. So now if you're going to apply as a business that has employee, of course you have your W-2, you have your W-3. What you actually need is the W-3. You need your W-3 definitely for the year 2019. And then you also need your Form 941 and Form 940. So those are the three information that you need to apply for the PPP if you have a business and you have employees. So you have a W-2 employees in your business. So that's why you need to do that. And if you're an independent contractor, like the lady that just called me a few minutes ago, she's a doctor, so she works for different practices. So she goes from one practice to another. So for her, she'll be getting a 1019.
Yeah.
1099.
1099, yeah.
1099. So you would need your 1099 for 2019 to apply.
Right.
So now next week, this week, I was just going to talk about applying. Next week, Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about things you need to put in place to actually get your loan forgiven. Some part of this loan will be forgiven. Now, it's not automatic. There's stuff you have to do. There's paperwork you have to do. And it also has to be filed in a timely fashion to get the forgivable part of the loan.
Forgiven, does that mean you don't have to pay it back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, some part of the loan you don't have to pay back.
Okay.
So when I talk about that next week, I'm going to go into details to talk about that. So for independent contractor, you would need to get your 1099 available to file. Now, a couple of things I wanted to say for people who are still very skeptical. When I talk to people, I see people who are still very skeptical about, are they going to come after me later if I take this loan, if I take this money? They're going to take my children, they're going to take my houses. They're going to be, I've seen people come up with all kind of really, really crazy conspiracy theory. Now, I believe, I'm not a lawyer. Please don't quote me, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a small businessman trying to help other business people. And I'm also not an accountant. So some of this stuff, you might have to double check with your accountant. Make sure that you are set up, your accounting structure is set up properly to work with the kind of package you're getting. So for those who are still kind of scared and say, okay, is it a gotcha? Is that you saying? This is a gotcha.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha kind of thing. No. The role of the government, the role of the SBA is to try and make sure that small businesses are flourishing. They're doing well. So that's why they do. SBA actually does a lot.
Yes,
they
do.
Yeah, for small businesses. So this is one of the primary roles of the government, is to help small businesses stay afloat. Because if small businesses are not working right,
That's true.
especially for the fact that we make small businesses make majority of businesses in America, for example.
Well, small business is backbone of America,
Yeah,
and the government's out there to help you now, and you need to take advantage of it.
absolutely, absolutely, I agree with you 100%. So if we don't have an economy,
Right.
then the government really has nothing to go off on. So the first thing is the economy, and then the second thing, responsibility of the government, is security. So it's economy first, and then security second. So please, I really, really want to beg those people who are still not sure what it's about, that this is for your own good. If you get a loan, it's just a loan. As long as you are doing businesses, and as long as you are investing your businesses right, you make the money back, and then you pay up the government back their money. And the interest is very low. Yes.
Well, Joe, I just wanted to say that Brookwood Eye Care we've been open again now for what, 2 months?
Yeah, but no, 3 months.
3 months?
Yes.
And we're taking all the precautions that CDC has said to do, and business is thriving, people are being helped. And I just think, if you follow the procedures that CDC puts out, if you haven't opened yet, take these precautions. I think you would do well if you would open. Plus, you have these loans to help you get through the hard times or catch up.
Yes. You got to figure out what you need to do to get yourself together. All right, so we are running out of time, so let's go ahead and look at some of the questions that we have. And okay, so somebody sent a text here. All right, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read the question and then try to answer. It said, "Good afternoon. I have some questions about my SBA EIDL grant and loan. I got a response to request for reconsideration." So what happened is that this loan was denied, and she sent an appeal, which they call request for reconsideration. All right, it said they now acknowledge that request, and they are requesting for more information. It said the grant says processed, but nothing has been paid out. They told me to check with my bank and make sure my name is on the account. It is a business account. My name is there, but not as an owner, I think. Just want some clarification as to how to get this process through. All right. So please, one thing you got to know, you cannot think. You have to know exactly what you're doing. Are you on that business account or not?
Yeah.
Because the loan officer, and of course they're trying to also protect their investment.
Sure.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you are on the account, you are a signer on the account. Whether you're an owner on the account or not, you have to be a signer on the account. So just make sure. I think this should fix your issue. Just make sure you are a signer on the account. If you're not a signer on the account, what you probably want to do, you want to make sure you have an account that matches the business. See what they're looking for, EIDL. The business name, business account, and your name. There has to be some consistency. If it's a sole proprietor, then it's your name, your tax ID, and your bank. So those all have to work together. So I think that should take care of that. Just make sure. And now you didn't say if. Okay, so you're a signer. You are a signer on the account. So if you're a signer on the account, yes. If you're a signer on the account, they should pay it without any problem. So just check with your account, check with your bank to make sure that there's no other issue with the account. Because if you already been approved, this is saying that you have been approved, and it has been paid out. It is saying that you have been paid out. Okay, so what I'm going to do a little more research on this to find out. I am. Let me see. Yes. So I'm going to text. I'm going to text my inside contact. I'm going to send a text to him and see what he's got to say about this. So we are privileged that we have direct contact with members of SBA that will be able to give us real-time situation on what's going on with some of the stuff we're going. So I'm just going to send him an email right now and see what he thinks about that situation. All right. So do we have any other questions? Do we have any other person having any questions before we run up? All right, so I have another text here. So somebody's saying that they were denied. Now, if you are denied, you're going to have a letter. You're going to have a letter. So in your letter is going to state the reason for the denial. So if we have it's really very simple. This is one thing I want you to know. Those people at the other end who are processing these loans, they are like you, they are like me. They have families to feed, they have work to do. So in case you don't know that, in case you don't know this, they get paid based on the number of loans that they successfully, help me stress that word, successfully. Okay, successfully process. So they are not necessarily trying to give you a hard time, because if you don't get the process, it's going to affect your work, you know. All right, so hold 1 second. We have a call coming through. Yes, sir. We're live. We're live. So the good with Dr. Joe. In fact, we're almost running up. The good with Dr. Joe. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, sir. What's your question? Okay, so I have a call on the line. He said they got a quote. He said the EIDL was initially approved. They got a quote, and they asked him to sign the paperwork. He signed the paperwork, and after he signed the paperwork, the loan was denied. The application was denied. Okay. Trust me. When you deal with the government, you have to be really very clear. You see, that's one of the reasons why they deny claims. I can guarantee you 99% of the reason why they deny claims most times is that people are not clear. You understand what I'm saying? So is he a Mr. or is he a Mrs.? If that's a question, Mr. or Mrs. I've seen people, they use their middle name on the bank, and then they use their first name on the application. So if it doesn't match, there's a problem. So if they deny your claim or you deny your application, they will send you a letter. In that letter, it would clearly state why they denied it. So we need to find out where is the letter. What does the letter say? So find the letter, find out what the letter say, and then we'll deal with it. Yeah. Go ahead and send the letter to me, and I will take a look at it. Thank you so much for calling. All right, so we have come to the end of the first. This is the first podcast. Come on, yeah, that was interesting. It was interesting. I think
I hope it was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting, and we still see a lot of people see online. So thank you so much for calling for coming today. We are going to post this on our YouTube page for those who didn't see it. And some of the other questions that came in that we couldn't answer online or on air, we're going to look at it. I'm going to talk to the folks at SBA, and on our next episode, which is next Wednesday, 12 noon. Next Wednesday, 12 noon, same place, same time. We're going to first deal with these questions, and then we'll now start working on what you need to do, what paperwork you need to start setting up to get your loan forgiven. So you want to start looking at that. All right. So I think that's all we got today, Ms. Snow. Do you have anything else to add? Do you have something else to say?
I do have something else to say, but there's not enough time, so I'll save it for next week.
All right. She says she's going to say it for next week. Thank you so much for coming. We look forward to seeing you again. Please like our channel. Please. Oh, before we go, there was going to be a quiz. Here's the quiz. and you're going to win $50 on at a Kroger gift card, or I'm going to put this person on hold.
And I always like a quiz.
Yes. Why did President Obama, former President Obama, why did he pick Mr. Joe Biden? So this is going to be a trick question. So if you have the answer, send it to our Instagram page. We'll find the winner, and then we'll send you a $50 gift certificate.
Who decides what's the winner?
No, the answer we decide. Maybe me and you. You know, I already know what the answer is.
I do.
Know? Yeah. So we're going to look at the answer. We'll first announce the winner next week, and also we also had a $200 gift prize for the first 75 people to register and follow us on Instagram. Those who register and follow us on Instagram, so you're going to get that. We're also going to be contacting you, let you know how to do that. So send us your email or your phone number. How do they do that? How do they get their phone number? How do we get their phone numbers or email? All right, we're going to figure that out. But follow us, and then we would find out your information and we'll send it to you. All right?
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's enough.
Have you finished your
lot of
shirt?
fun. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, great week, and see you next week. Signing off. Next week, 12 o'clock.
I tell you, where's your off button?
Right here.
God can't get you got wound up, couldn't get you to hush.
That happens sometimes.